welcome back to a movie watching podcast. This is Cody Michael. I'm joined as always by Seth Ott.
Choo choo.
And Jared Buckendall.
Bang, bang.
I love it. Sometime I'm going to clip and reel all of these little noises you guys make. And it's going to be great. Or maybe someone else will do it. How about that? That'd be really fun.
Ooh, there we go. Crowdsource.
We are back this week to talk about buddy movies. Seth is rattling off wins. He's got 3 straight wins. And so this was a topic of his choosing, inspired, of course, by The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is recently getting trounced by teenagers in the box office. But we're still going to talk buddy movies anyway. We looked at a list of 50 different buddy movies from the 70s to today. And we came up with a pretty short list, only 14 movies that none of us had seen. I think this is the category so far that we've seen the most of. And so we had a bunch of stuff. There was some classics. What I learned was this genre was very dominant for all of our formative years and childhoods, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the classics of ours. The Nice Guys in 2016 is a favorite. To go from that to Hobbs and Shaw feels a little annoying. There's Hobbs and Shaw. We had Ride Along. We had The Heat, End of Watch. End of Watch is incredible. If you guys haven't seen End of Watch. 21 Jump Street is a favorite. The Other Guys is another one. Have you both of you guys seen The Other Guys?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one where they jump off the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the best comedies I think of that decade. That came out in 2010.
Is that also with Dirty Mike and the Boys? Sorry,
that
about
is
the
Dirty
band.
Mike and the Boys. Yeah. There's so many quotes of that movie. It's unreal. Your piss hitting the urinal, it sounds feminine. And Gators bitches better be wearing jimmies. Oh, that movie's too much. Step Brothers, Pineapple Express, Superbad, Hot Fuzz. These are all buddy movies. Even White Chicks, Starsky and Hutch. I mean, the list goes on. Training Day was on the list. Love that one. Well, do you guys have any favorites in the genre? Obviously, we've seen a million of these. Tommy Boy, I know, is a lot of people's favorite movies. What jumps out to y'all out of the ones that you've seen?
Another one I'd throw in there that wasn't on the list. One of my favorites ever is Clerks.
Clerks would qualify for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of the 90s ones were just like ones that I constantly watched on replay, like, you know, the Lethal Weapon ones, the Die Hard with a Vengeance. Oh gosh, there's another one I can't think of it. I don't know. It's just a very, like, once we started writing them out, I was like, wow, this is a very popular genre. Like, it's a very easy, accessible, you know, I'm sure we're going to talk about some of the tropes in these movies, but I don't know. People like a good buddy movie.
I mean, the commonality among all of these is the synopsis is basically all the same.
Yep.
2 blanks, one who's like this and another who's like that, are gonna have to coexist. Let's see what happens. And honestly, let's not overcomplicate it. Like, it works for me just about every time. We had Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock. That worked. We had Robert Downey and Zach Galifianakis. I think that worked. Even Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart works a little bit. Maybe not for an hour and a half, but maybe for 45 minutes or so.
I wonder what the most obscure, like, buddy unit is. I mean, obviously there's the guy and the dog version. There's 2 women, there's 2 men, there's the man and the woman. But I'm like, I wonder if we could get like real strange. Like, is there one where it's a man and a robot?
Oh, there's got to be some man and robot.
There's got to be.
Yeah. I want to see like an astronaut and one of those like people from those tribes that live in the jungle that like doesn't even really communicate like us. I want to see like one of the people that thinks that like ostensibly is one of the smartest people in the world try to figure out how to communicate with this person who has no fucking clue what an astronaut is. I think
they're from different worlds. He's been to the stars and he just looks at the stars. He has a smartphone and he doesn't know what a phone is. This summer, out of this world.
Writes itself. I'm telling you. I think our selection this week has one of the more random pairings that I can
very
remember in
random.
terms of actors. We'll get there in just a sec. But the list that we had to work from had some classics. We had The Sting on here, which is from the 70s. So is Freebie and the Bean and the Sunshine Boys, Silver Streak. I didn't recognize very many of these from the 70s, guys.
No, me
I don't
neither.
know. We had a lot. This was very popular in the 80s. Midnight Run, Red Heat, Tango and Cash. We got into the 90s. There's a Last Boy Scout. One of them that was really interesting to me was RRR. This was a really huge Bollywood one from a couple of years ago. That I've seen short clips of, and it is just hyper violent and just way over the top.
Wild. There's
So
like
we'll
dance
circle
fights and
around.
everything.
Yeah, there's huge dance scenes. We'll circle around to RRR. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was near the top of our list. That has Robert Downey Jr. in it, of course, pre-Iron Man. But the one that we landed on is, honestly, it's widely credited as kind of setting a lot of the tone for the genre afterwards, because this is from 1982. This is called 48 Hours. And if you don't know, one of Eddie Murphy's first big appearances on the big screen. He was well known, but this was the first time he was in a huge Hollywood movie. He's opposite Nick Nolte in this. So in the year 2026, it's kind of funny to think Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. I guess it made more sense 40 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
I'm going to read you the what's really funny about this is there's a synopsis written on the poster for this movie. I'm going to read it to you. It's perfect. The boys are back in town. Nick Nolte is a cop. Eddie Murphy is a convict. They couldn't have liked each other less. They couldn't have needed each other more. And the last place they ever expected to be is on the same side, even for ... 48 hours.
Oh man.
Incredible. I'm sold, honestly.
Back when movie posters actually had to sell the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's an effective one, I think. The synopsis that IMDb has is, and this is important, a hard-nosed cop reluctantly teams up with a wisecracking criminal temporarily paroled in order to track down a killer. Walter Hill is the director here. I've heard this mentioned a lot, but it is not one I've seen. I bet that's the experience that y'all have had. Have you guys seen much classic Eddie? I knew 90s Eddie pretty well, Eddie Murphy and Dr. Dolittle and that. I haven't gotten back to the 80s very often other than Trading Places.
I think the furthest back for me is probably Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, sure. Judge Reinholdt's in that from Fast Times.
He sure is.
What about you, Chef? What's your furthest back Eddie Murphy? Is it Dr. Dolittle?
Yeah, it's right. It's definitely the 90s Eddie, for sure. You know, it's funny. I sometimes mistake Dr. Dolittle and Nutty Professor in my mind. They're the same movie to me, but they're not at all. But
they're pretty different. The marketing is very similar.
Right. And I know it's like more recent than those, but like Daddy Daycare is one that I think a lot about with Eddie Murphy too.
Yep.
I forgot about that period for Eddie Murphy, the Daddy Daycare period. That was
Norbit.
Because that was also like Haunted Mansion and whatnot too.
I forgot about Haunted Mansion.
What about Norbit?
Norbit, yeah.
Oh yeah, Norbit was maybe the one where we had to kind of cool it a little bit on Eddie after Norbit.
I've never seen that movie, but I recently saw a clip where like he's on a water slide and they're like, "You're too fat," and then he just flies through a like fence or something, like a brick wall, basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Eddie Murphy in a big fat suit doing funny stuff, huh? Sounds pretty reliable, honestly.
Paid a lot of bills, I'm sure.
Paid Martin Lawrence's bills too. Let's get into some bets for 48 hours. So 1982, 48 hours, Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy. We got cops. We got a robber. We got them teaming up. Let's go, Jared, to you first. What do you got in here for 1 point?
I mean, after I read the synopsis and I feel like just the flow of these movies, because they're going to be buddies at the end, I think that Eddie Murphy will not go back to prison at the end of this movie.
Okay.
I'll
return to jail.
say I kind of have something similar, but I think just different enough.
I can't wait to hear what it is.
I said that Eddie Murphy's character will be offered a full pardon if he completes the mission. So I'm not even saying he has to go to jail, or has to go back to jail or not. He'll just at least be like part of this deal. Will be a pardon.
He'll get a pardon. Is that that's your one?
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. What's really going to be funny is if he doesn't go to jail for a different reason. For people who listened to our Killer Clowns episode, I think people are going to hear where this is coming from.
My God.
I'm going for it, guys. 1982. It's rated R. I checked the rating, and Eddie Murphy is in it. Are you kidding me? We have a black criminal and a white cop. I guarantee you we are getting our boobs and slur combo. I did this. I tried to go for over 1.5 last week. I'm raising the bar. Over 2.5 boobs and slur combo. And I should mention, I'm talking the same slur repeated a bunch of times, still only counts once. I think I'm getting one for free.
Man.
I don't know where I'm getting the other two.
Oh man.
You're doing that as your 1-pointer?
Yep. I feel really good about this one.
I was gonna say I would give you, even if you wanted to go back to the 1.5, I would even take that as a 1-pointer. I don't think you need to add the extra.
Yeah,
I'm not
you're
gonna
just
pass
making
up
it
free
difficult
money.
for yourself.
I'm not going to pass up free money. I'll go to 1.5.
We're just making it fair here. I mean, 1 point is like, hey, this is you got good odds here.
Yeah,
all right, but I don't want to hear it when we clear it in the first 5 minutes. I want to hear it. Nick Nolte's playing a cop in the 80s, guys. All right. So we got some fun 3-pointers because apparently Eddie Murphy's going to get disrespected a fair amount, but he's still going to get off. So for 3 points now, Jared, what do you add to that?
All right, buddy cop movie. I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of car chase in this movie. So during the car chase, one of the vehicles will smash through a stall of fruit.
Vehicle crashes through
fruit cart.
Fruit cart.
Crashes through fruit during a chase. This is really funny. There's a lot of parallel thinking here. I have a very similar one to this.
I'm going back to one that I think maybe Jared had. I can't remember even what movie it was, but
the cheeseburger bat?
No. No. This one has to do. So I looked in the cast list, and there's a lot of like bar patrons and bar references. So I think there's going to be a lot of beers consumed in this movie.
Oh yeah.
My 3-pointer is that over 4.5 individual bottled beers will be drunk from, or drank from, however you want to phrase that, during the movie. So I think like it could be one person drinks 5 bottled beers. It could be 5 people each drink a beer, as long as there's 4.5 bottled beer. And I'm saying bottle too, because this is the 80s.
Gotta be bottled.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, quick question on that. Do they have to physically make contact with the bottle, or can it just be sitting on the table?
Drink. They got to put it to their lips.
Okay, put it to the lips.
Whoa, okay.
Wow.
Lips to beers.
That's a 3-pointer? That seems like a 7-pointer.
You think so?
I don't know, man.
I also think this could go in the first 3 minutes if they just open on a cop party.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So it could take all movie, or it could happen. Honestly, it could happen in the final scene when they're celebrating Eddie Murphy's pardon.
We have yet to get a combo win where you get basically 2 bets at the exact same time.
The closest was Seth on clowns. He got very close to that.
Very close.
Okay. I am going to say for 3 points. Now I'm going to take a shot that this is where this originated. This is a classic buddy cop, criminal and cop situation. I'm going to say at one point in the movie, Nick Nolte will like try to move and realize that he's been handcuffed to something.
Oh man.
That's a good one.
I can picture that clear as day.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. And you know Eddie Murphy's going to have fast hands. I just feel pretty sure about that.
Man, that's a good one.
Good call.
I'm excited about it. Okay, we move to our 5-pointer. We're shooting for the moon here. I think all of these bets so far are hitting, so this could be the difference maker. What do you got, Jared?
Yeah, this 5-1, I have absolutely no confidence in it, but I'm doing it. There will be a scene where they're at a hot dog cart. One of them will be eating a hot dog, and they will spill mustard or ketchup on their shirt.
So spilled mustard or ketchup from a hot dog at a stand. I think we could also allow it if they get a hot dog from a stand, take it away from the stand, and then get mustard or ketchup. I think that would be allowable.
Okay.
But it has to be a hot dog from a stand. Well, I am very charitable, Jared.
Thank you.
Seth, I know that one's going to irk you. It's probably pretty blasphemous to think about wasting good ketchup and mustard off your hot dog.
That's true. All right, my 5-pointer. Last week or last time, I called my 5-point shot with the ending. I called the ending verbatim. So I'm going to try again. We're going to see if we can keep the streak going.
Oh.
So
I wonder if we guessed the same. I'm not going to go with this bet, but I wonder if we guessed the same thing about the ending.
Well, this is going to I'm going to also try and weave here my 1-pointer into this, and maybe, who knows, even the 3. So I think the movie, the plot has in there that they have 48 hours to complete this mission. I say they're going to be just shy, within like seconds of completing their mission, but will still ultimately save the day, and Eddie Murphy will still receive his pardon and not go back to jail.
So you think they're going to have to go over the 48 hours?
Mm-hmm.
But that they're going to choose to do so to finish the mission.
I think it'll be within they'll like achieve their goal, but it'll be within seconds, but still ultimately save the day.
Oh, okay, within seconds.
Man, if you nail that though, you get your 1-pointer too.
Uh-huh.
And he gets his pardon. So that's not too dissimilar to what I was guessing. It was basically that there would be an element with the time running out, and they would somehow go over, but it was in order to be heroic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like this one. I feel good about your prospects of nailing your second straight ending. I have no idea how this movie ends if not with that. This is a pretty well established genre, at least by our point in time. Who knows how different it was this early in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have spilled mustard and ketchup from the hot dog. We have a near miss on the buzzer beater. My 5-pointer, I'm going to go with a modified Pulp Fiction opening here. I'm going to say we're going to have them sitting in the car together. They're going to be listening to music is what I think is going to be happening. And there's going to be a scene where they have a disagreement about how differently they see either a specific song or music in general. So I'm thinking like Eddie Murphy wants to listen to rap and Nick Nolte says it's crap, or Nick Nolte wants to listen to country music and Eddie Murphy's like, no. But they exchange. It can't just be that. They have to exchange some opinions about music while sitting in the car and hearing some music.
Like Rush Hour?
I suppose like Rush Hour. They don't have to sing though.
Tommy Boy has a very similar scene as well.
Yeah, I think this is maybe where it was born.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I wish I could think of the song, but I don't know enough songs from that time. Another bet that I was going to have that was music related was that there would be some that Eddie Murphy's character would be really into Michael Jackson. But I wasn't quite sure if the timing made perfect sense, and so I decided to go this more general way instead. So we have a litany of what have become tropes, I would say, not even necessarily patterns or gags, but complete tropes. We've written the simplest, I think, buddy movie maybe of all time, but I do think it'll be awesome, even if we get all of this. So we could see all of the following. We could see more than 1.5 boobs or slurs being spoken. We could see at the end, we might not have Eddie Murphy even go back to jail like they think. He might get pardoned. We're definitely going to see some beer drinking. All right, at least 5 bottles worth. Someone's going to drive through a fruit cart, which is going to be crazy. You know what would be even crazier if it was the cabbage guy from Avatar? My cabbages. Then Nick Nolte's going to get handcuffed to something because Eddie Murphy's got quick hands. They are just barely going to miss their timer on this mission, but they are still going to save the day. Even though they have spilled mustard or ketchup from a hot dog onto themselves from a hot dog they got at a stand. And somewhere around that time, they will also get into a discussion about their differences in their taste in music while they're sitting in the car. So pretty jam-packed. I imagine a couple people will also get shot. A couple bad guys might get grabbed up. I think this is going to be a good one. It's a tight 95 minutes. So I think this is going to be a fun watch. I'm really excited. I feel pretty good about finding this one at Blockbuster too. So I'm going to have a good old 80s experience for sure on this one. So make sure you come on back next week. Find a way to watch 48 Hours. There's a couple ways to stream it. You can also pay to rent it, which is always cool to do. So check out 48 Hours in the next 7 days. Come on back next week and see who wins the betting game and see our review of the movie. Before we let you go for the week, let's talk about what we've been watching. We had a big weekend at the theaters. We got to a lot of things. Let's start, Chef, with Power Ballad. This is one, I don't know that this got marketed super widely, less than I would have expected when you've got Nick Jonas here and you've got Paul Rudd. Is that right?
Yep. Nick Jonas, Paul Rudd. Not really a whole lot of other recognizable people in it. That this was a film made in Ireland, I think, and then there's a little bit in the United States too. Basic story though, Paul Rudd is a wedding band singer who once had like a small career as a rock star, but didn't really take off, and so kind of settled for the wedding band career. Got married, had a kid in Ireland. Nick Jonas plays a, as you would expect, a
Nick Jonas type.
Yeah, basically a less famous Nick Jonas type who is in a boy band. He's trying to like ascend in his career, hasn't had a whole lot of success. They have so he's at a wedding that Paul Rudd's band is playing, and they kind of jam. Paul Rudd helps him write a song, and you'll see it in the trailer if you watch it. But essentially, that song gets famous, and Paul Rudd's like, "Hey, what the hell?" And so the movie is Paul Rudd kind of dealing with that, and also Nick Jonas's character, him also kind of dealing with that as well, kind of feeling like a fraud and that type of thing. It's a good movie. I did enjoy it. It kind of lacked a little bit of, it lacked something. I don't know if it was like a full and clear direction, like a full tone. I guess to me, it kind of it was funny at times. It was kind of sad at times. I did enjoy it. The music was good. The performances were good. Paul Rudd was great. I just don't know because I love these type of movies.
Mm-hmm.
I love the music movies. I love the movies that have like that heart, and it definitely had that heart to it too. But it didn't fully connect with me. I don't know if it was Nick Jonas that didn't connect with me. I don't know if it was Paul Rudd playing a singer was kind of weird to me.
I was going to say, does he sing much?
He does, and he's good, but he's not like it sounds like Paul Rudd. So
Okay.
it's like, it's not like,
jamming my bass.
Yeah.
I bet he slaps the hell out of that bass.
I even tried, like today I listened to a little bit of the soundtrack, and there's like one main song in the movie that kind of is the whole crux of the thing. And in the movie it's like a sweet song, and like it has some meaning to it. But again, the song didn't quite it didn't like hit me in the same way as like something like a Hearts Beat Loud.
Okay.
Hearts Beat Loud. The music in that I think every song in that has like something that kind of that hits. And this one I'm just like, it's good, but I don't know what if it's it's lacking something. I just don't know what. But I do recommend the movie, though. It sounds like I'm dogging it, but it is an enjoyable movie. If you watch the trailer, I think the trailer maybe is what I had more expectations of this, like hitting harder, and it didn't quite do that. Expect more comedy than I think the deep emotional stuff.
There you go.
Interesting.
It is hard when your premise is someone becoming famous with their great music. You do have to nail the music. And so if the song didn't get you quite there, I mean, imagine if Shallow's not a great song.
Yeah.
Then who gives a shit about Star is Born or like
Truly.
I mean, the whole movie School of Rock hinges on that song.
Yep.
So if that's not the best rock song ever written, which it is, then that movie's no good. But this is one I'll still get out to and see, like you said. And maybe I'll pull out of it what you didn't, but I like the interesting pairing of these two, and a little bit different shade of Paul Rudd is an interesting thing to me. I understand it being distracting for sure, but I'm open to it.
I'll say like I gave it like a 3.5 on my Letterboxd when I was fully expecting to give that like at least a 4, if that makes any sense. Like going into it, I'm like, oh, I think I'm gonna really like this one, just based off the tone, and it was like that half star off for me, I guess.
Yeah. That's the magic half. The magic half star didn't quite get achieved. I think I did get the magic half star on this next one. I got out the other night to The Sheep Detectives. And this is one of those where when I saw the trailer, I was like, that's for kids and I'm going to love it. And that's exactly what happened. This is a great kids movie and a pretty good adult movie. Hugh Jackman is a shepherd, very straightforward shepherd. Also, like the most charming man ever in a movie. This character is, and he's got these sheep, and he reads to them, and he doesn't know that they can like talk to each other. And so this is where it takes a shocking turn. He then becomes murdered. and the sheep, because the sheep have been hearing him read them mystery books this whole time, they decide that they can solve the murder. And so it's them plus like a handful of characters from the town trying to figure out the murder and navigating. It's like a whodunit. There's a bunch of people in town that have motive. And so Julia Louis-Dreyfus voices the main sheep, and she's just delightful. I like her so much. And there's just a lot of little really cute positive moments, like, the sheep have to, really be brave and leave their meadow in order to go solve the murder. So they have to get a bunch of courage and hold each other up in order to do that. And then there's a cool angle when they start to bring in some members of his family that are coming to town, obviously, because he's dead. And so this is a really cool kind of a mix between kind of a Knives Out. And I think it gets to not nearly to that quality of mystery. Like it's not going to shock you in its turns and stuff. But in terms of the characters being really distinct and having a cool way of moving between them, and them each having their real moments where you think that they're the one that did it. The mystery part is really good. The sheep are just the most charming thing ever. And I didn't even notice very rarely did I notice the fact or think about the fact that sheep can't really talk, because the effects are good enough. It's kind of like when you watch Babe and then the next pig you see, you're like, oh wait.
His mouth's not moving.
Yeah. So I love Sheep Detectives. I recommend it to anybody. I think every American should watch The Sheep Detectives.
This just sounds like one of those sneaky movies that will pop onto maybe people's top 10 of the year or most surprising of the year, because just from what you're saying and kind of the general vibe, it's just a very cute movie.
Adorable.
I feel like, and this is no comment on. I think I would enjoy it as well. I think though you've been talking about this for even like
I knew I was gonna love it.
A week before this came out, and then it's been out for a week already at this point, I think. So you saw it late even. and and now you've finally seen it, and it sounds like it lived up
Oh,
to
yeah.
every expectation.
Big time, baby. I don't even think I saw the whole trailer before I was like, guarantee I love that. I love it when that happens and you nail it. And you know what? It happened to me twice in the same weekend. And Jared, I'm going to let you talk about this because I remember talking about this next movie with you guys last week. And I don't remember, Jared, if you were skeptical. There was some skepticism about whether or not I should be as excited for this movie as I was. But I know for me it delivered. Talk about Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, Masters of the Universe. Before going into this movie, I was 100% skeptical. I was like, this is gonna be a Borderlands, like, just it's an IP that just it's not doing anything. They don't know what they're doing with this movie. So I went into this movie, I was like, okay, impress me. And holy wow, this movie in my just kind of like short review, I was like, this was Saturday morning cartoons, the movie. Again, this is Masters of the Universe. It follows He-Man, Skeletor, that whole cast and crew from, the 80s cartoon. And it very much starts like the first 15 minutes is like, hey, this is Eternia. This is fantasy. There's all these crazy, weird characters. Basically, they took all the action figures and the costumes of these characters, the designs. It was so cool to see these weird characters on screen. Then it kind of goes into, the fish out of the water or fish out of water story of, we're on Earth now. And then this man or He-Man finds out, oh, I'm actually this lineage, that I'm actually from this different world. And then, you kind of have that fun romp of this man having no clue what's going on with this fantastical world that he then finds himself in. And man, everything about it, like the comedy, there's so many innuendos. And I think that they knew that kids aren't necessarily seeing this. It's Gen X and probably their kids. So like a lot of the jokes are, also the character names are very dumb and goofy. Like there's a character named Ram Man and then another character called Fisto. So you can tell where they're going to have a lot of just innuendo jokes, and they leaned hard into it.
They made so much lemonade out of the name. The name stuff was hugely featured and it all worked for me.
Yeah.
Mecha Nick is my favorite guy.
Yeah, Mecha Neck. Yeah. And again, all these designs and the characters looked really good. Cody, I'll toss it over to you, but the last thing I'll say is the score in this movie. Oh my gosh, you just fired up. I've been listening to it driving around. I was doing some errands earlier. I was like, man, this just electric guitar in your face. It was so good.
Jared's just doing donuts in the Ivy parking lot.
I have the power.
Dude, I think that now I was not a He-Man I was not a He-Man universe. I didn't know shit about He-Man. I could picture him, but that was it. And I do think though, one of the interesting things you were talking about old, parents and their kids might like it. I think there's a chance they get a little bit of a Gen Z bump too, because of the memes. And they do reference a couple of the popular memes from He-Man characters. They make fun of how much Skeletor is laughing, which is a big video. And so I do think it's accessible. And then because of the way they roll it out to you, it wasn't ever a problem that I didn't know any of the plot or any of the characters. It rolled out in a way that made sense. It definitely has like origin story vibes, which I know aren't always your favorite, Chef, but so it plays some of the same old songs, but I think it's really effective. And by the time Jared just did it, by the time he has the power, I was so fucking fired up when he finally did that.
Oh,
and
man.
This is very Saturday morning cartoons. The movie is a very good way of putting this. This scratches the same type of itch as like the dumbest of action movies do, where it's just I'm just going for like most of the time. So that's the best review I can give. But I enjoyed it. I knew I was going to.
The thing I compared it to, like tone wise, was, and again, this movie from a few years ago surprised me, was the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves or whatever. Like it very much feels like it's kind of in that same realm or world. Again, I don't know if that's a Mattel movie, but like whatever they captured here, I was like, the people behind this, there's love for these characters and these toys and this property.
You I've never ever had an interest in He-Man. And like Kevin Smith did the animated
Netflix one,
series,
yeah.
and that almost got me to watch that. But even that, I'm like, I don't know. Never really had an interest in it. I've always thought it's, I don't know, a little bit too. I probably would like it. That's the thing, is I probably would like it. What you saying Dungeons and Dragons, that probably put me over, because that's another one where I'm like, I don't care. I just don't care. And I saw that movie and I liked it. So that, okay. I don't know if I'll see this in the theater, but I'll probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say catch it on streaming. Unfortunately, I don't think it's doing well, and I hope that they can get more in this, maybe a sequel at least. But I just don't think that it had name recognition that people are going out to it. Maybe the second weekend there'll be a bump, but like I don't know, reviews have been pretty positive with it. I know that some people are like, "Oh, this isn't my He-Man." I'm like, "Well, exactly, it's not yours. Like, forget you. Like, this is a new version of him."
Yep. Yeah. Well, I think the commonality between the Dungeons and Dragons one, and I would agree with the comparison, is there's enough lore there to have something to lean on, but it's not so overbearing like something like Star Wars lore is, where you like really have to take it seriously and move it along and reveal some new thing every time. This was just like, I mean, we've talked about this on Marvel movies. Someone just dumped their He-Man toy chest out and started whipping them around, and we got to watch that for a couple hours, and I love that. And it was contained, very self-contained. You didn't need a lot of other knowledge. Very just an easy movie to like. Last thing I'll say before we move on is Jared Leto as Skeletor worked for me big time.
Yes,
he was very cool. Because Skeletor is not terrifying, and they know that in the movie. Like, he's a dark, scary character, but he's not scaring everybody. And he's a good foil for He-Man. He worked very well for me. Shout out Jared Leto on that. I don't know if everyone was going to love the voice because it was a departure from the character from the show, but it worked for me in the context that we saw it. So Leto and the boys, speaking of skeleton heads, we do have one more movie to talk about. Very excited to talk about this one. It's been surprisingly rare since we've done a movie watching podcast that we've all seen the same movie over a weekend. So I'm very excited to talk about Scary Movie. 2026's reboot of Scary Movie. Are we calling it a reboot?
A rebootquel, I guess.
Rebootquel? Okay.
I guess, yeah. And also, I'm very curious because none of us have even teased what we thought about this movie. So, like, this is going to be a surprise.
I will say, Jared, I saw a little bit of your social media, so I think I know what you feel about it.
Okay.
So just to set it up, this is the return of the Wayans to the franchise after doing numbers 1 and 2 and then being gone from it. That features heavily in the movie, which is interesting to me. But it was cool to see a lot of the original cast, and they're doing very modern stuff, like very recent movies and things. So it's good to see Scary Movie back. But I did not see your socials, J-Buck. Where'd you come down on it?
I mean, the title of the video or whatever was just like, man, Scary Movie 6 was just a massive disappointment. Again, I loved the 1, 2, and 3 for sure, but I just knew that it wasn't going to stack up to it. But I just wanted a few fun sketches, I wanted to laugh out loud. I did laugh, but I totally know that this is not a good movie. There's a lot of jokes that I'm like, I could have written a better joke. And then there's scenes that I'm like, where was the joke? You just kind of just cosplayed the same scene from the movie that I've already seen. And there was a lot of times where I was kind of scratching my head of like, oh, that was it? That's what you had here? Okay. We'll get further into it, but I will say that there are some shining moments. Like, there were some just kind of off the wall jokes that hit me at the right time and place, but I know for a fact that it was like a shotgun approach, and like 3 out of 10 jokes are hitting.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely on the side with you, Jared. Okay. To me, the main problem I had with this movie is it felt like the Wayans getting out their frustrations about 3, 4, and 5.
Yep.
I mean, the whole last 10 minutes is that.
And
plot points based on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much fourth wall breaking, and like, are the characters the actors? Are the actors the characters?
Yeah.
it felt like they diminished those movies of being like, those sucked. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but 3 was the best one. And we can all agree on that.
I was thinking about you when they were bashing it. I was like, oh, my boy's not gonna like that.
Mhm.
And like you said, Jared, a lot of the jokes were just plain references, and they weren't like, there wasn't like a punchline or anything.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I know you said there was current stuff, but a lot of it wasn't. They were making jokes about things that happened in the 90s and the 2000s. Like this, I think there were more current things like the K-pop Demon Hunter stuff.
Yeah.
But there was also like references to like pop culture stuff that from when the movies were originally made, that
yeah,
it felt, and then the whole thing at the end to me felt like they were saying, like, again, kind of going back to the point of like, comedy was better then, it sucks now, we win. I don't know. Like,
It was
felt like
very odd.
I don't know. There were some funny things, but the movie itself, the structure, the story, whatever that story was they were trying to tell, because all of the other scary movies at least had an overarching plot. The first 3 anyway. This was just like them going, we got the rights back. and at least, I don't know. It was frustrating. I had way more hopes for it. I was hoping it was going to be more like the first movie, or it just felt like a full-on fuck you to in the end.
It kind of felt like they became the thing that they didn't like or they hated, which is, I don't know, maybe looking back, it's like the oldest brother, because he was the one that directed, I think, 1 and 2. Maybe he was the special sauce that made those movies work.
Yeah.
Could have been. I think I ended up having a pretty good time here. I did really dislike that stuff.
Yeah.
The references to the Wayans being back and all that was only ever a distraction to me. I don't think there was ever one of those jokes that I thought was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I thought when they sat down and wrote a sketch, which they did a handful of, some of them I thought were really dope. And I really enjoyed some of them. The K-pop Demon Hunters thing, guarantee, is going to live in my head for a long time.
That's the one that I mentioned. That one was, I was like, creativity, fantastic, thumbs up.
I was dying that whole time. I had to go back and look up the lyrics.
The Keenan bit, the little
yes.
cutaway with the Michael stuff, that was hilarious.
And so I was looking for them to just stick with that and figure out an ending. And they wanted to make a whole joke about legacy sequels involving like a new cast, and they had a point to make about that. I think you nailed it, Chef. It was a little too much with the vendetta, and not enough of just like, let's bring you back what you enjoyed. Now, should they get another one?
They will. They made a lot of money.
They made a lot.
They're making big bucks. Okay, well, hopefully in the next one they settle in and just make the thing instead of bragging about how they get to make it again. But I think I had a better time than you guys did, but that did leave a sour taste on my mouth, 100%.
What was your theater audience like for both your screenings? Was it packed? Was it not? Was it?
We had
lively?
I was maybe a third full, so which is more than is typical. So there was definitely some people in there, but there wasn't like everyone wasn't laughing the whole time. I'm usually the biggest laugher in a movie like that. Yeah. I know I was for Naked Gun.
Yeah,
I get so into just the rhythm of, I'm an easy laugh in that if I can tell that was a punchline, I'm gonna laugh. How hard I laugh is gonna be different or whatever, but just settling into the rhythm of the movie, I'm laughing most of the time. So no, I didn't notice everybody else. Maybe they noticed me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think my theater was about like half to 75%. I mean, there was definitely like lulls where it's like no one's laughing at all. Like one of the specific jokes I remember, it was just that whole pronouns bit on the train. I kind of was like, I get what you're getting at, but I was like, what are the jokes here?
So that's one of the things I had a problem with, is that because there wasn't, I think the joke to them, at least to the Wayans, was like that character was getting stabbed and like they were dying. So
Yeah.
they're like, your stuff is stupid. And then, I mean, the whole ending was them just like killing all those characters.
Yeah.
And then basically saying your comedy, your whatever is stupid. That's the ending. Just felt like that. The whole ending ruined. This is spoilers at this point, but the whole ending ruined the movie to me. I was just like, what are you? Because it didn't really. I couldn't understand the comedy itself in the movie was so inconsistent. There was times of it where it felt like they were trying to be progressive, and then other times where they were shitting on that. And then in the end, it felt like they entirely shat on it. So then I was like, what was that? What was that movie?
Very strange, yeah. But there was a row behind me that they were laughing the entire time. So like they were fueling everyone else's laugh if like a joke wasn't hitting or whatever. Again, quick, very maybe tiny spoiler, but I'm curious, did the John Wick part work for you?
Yes, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Okay.
Because I was like, that action was actually pretty good.
I was impressed. I was like, damn, they really went for this one. Yeah. That's always been when they're at their best. Like there was the Matrix scene, which I know is in the third one, which is so bad. But when they do an honest to goodness parody of something, that's always when it's the best.
Yep. So the reason I brought that up, my theater, even before the movie started, there was a Jackass trailer, and my theater was pretty full. I would say most of like the normal seats were full. The Jackass trailer, the new one, that played, I didn't even hear a peep. No one.
Whoa.
And no one was laughing. And so I was just like, okay, to me, at first I'm like, is that just dead? Is like that type of like the
I think this might be one movie too many.
The prank, gross.
And then I think that carried over into Scary Movie because I mean there was definitely like some of the Michael stuff, there's
a lot of dildo stuff.
yeah. That K-pop Demon Hunters, like the stuff we've talked about, there was laughs during that. Otherwise, it was dead during the entirety of the movie, and I agreed with them for the most part, but it just got me thinking of like, was this an out of touch movie? Was this like a throwback? And like that and Jackasses, because Naked Gun was awesome. Yeah. Like and when I saw that in a mostly full theater, and people were laughing the whole time. It was so fun. So I don't know. I think this is just a bad movie ultimately.
Yeah, I don't like the way it came together. Ultimately, it has moments, but like if you put each of these as a short onto TikTok, I'm sure it would do. Some of them would do really well, and others would be immediately forgotten.
Yep.
So we'll see what as you said though, it's making a ton of money. So we'll see what happens as far as additional sequels go. But Scary Movie, if you do want to see it for yourself, is still available to see in theaters. So go check that out. We are definitely recommending Masters of the Universe, Sheep Detectives, and then you can check out Power Ballad as well. So big weekend at the theater. Go check that stuff out. Let us know on Letterboxd or in the comments below what you liked and what you didn't. That's going to wrap us up for this week. We'll be back for next week to talk about 48 Hours, and we'll see if all these bets hit. Until then, for Jared Buckendahl and Seth Ott, I've been Cody Michael, and we'll see you then.